Episode number 130 of the so-called sports analyst. Josh, how you doing?
Well, I'm feeling real good because I got a nice little comfortable lead right now in our pick'ems. You know what time of the week it is. It's Wednesday. It's another time to follow my picks and not Fonzo's. I am 5-1 on the season right now. Hey, I know there was the first time we did this, I got up on a pretty good lead at 2 also and almost blew it at
You
the
already
end.
know.
But it's not this year. It's not that year. It's this
Not
year.
no
It's the
more?
Big 25 going into the Big 26. So yeah, how does it feel right now? How does it feel right now to be 5-1? I mean,
You
one and
know,
five. How does it feel to be to 1-5 right now?
you know, there's always these sayings in order to be great, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And that's exactly what I did. This is exactly how I planned it to be.
Dude,
You know,
the Chiefs have
pressures
never
make
lost a
diamonds.
Super Bowl when I win the pick'ems throughout the year. When I win the yearly pick'ems. And the year I lost
Oh,
to
because
you, they
I
lost the
did win
Super
last
Bowl.
year. Maybe a potential trend.
New
Maybe a
Brian
potential.
Robinson stat.
Nah, that's gonna. Well, okay. If I win the, no, I'm winning the pickums this year. I'm confident. Again, I put myself in uncomfortable situations in
So I
order
have to win
for me to
9 for it to
thrive.
be over.
Yeah, you have to win 9 for it to be over.
All
You
right, we'll
need
get it
4
done this
more.
week.
Nah, nah, don't worry. Trust. I'm very confident right here, and it's just been a pick here or there. It's not like it's been out of the water. You know, those picks are gonna flip back my way, real soon. But
By the way,
before we
also
start,
peep the number 7 school in the country. Everybody, the number
I'm
7 football team in the country.
I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wish my team was thriving like that, but too bad we're losing to three in a row. But before we start, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSESA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. And make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. But like Josh was saying, let's go ahead and get into these predictions right here, which we're going to start with the Thursday night football. 4-1 Steelers versus the 2-4 Bengals, in which Joe Flacco gets another start. Pittsburgh's favored by 4.5. The over-under is 44.5. And like it said, I don't. Well, I know you don't have Twitter. What they said for, you know how they always post a picture for Thursday night football. They said the battle of the unks. So, so who are you taking in this one right here?
Well, I'm still gonna have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this matchup. I understand the Bengals. They looked a lot better in that second half last week with Joe Flacco getting the ball to Jamar Chase. T. Higgins walked away with 10 targets at the end of it. They were trying to get the ball moving. Chase Brown looked a little bit better, but still struggling. I know what I'm getting from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what I'm getting from the Cincinnati Bengals if I were to pick them. And I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is not going to let as many points as the Bengals defense will let up either. So I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one.
Yeah, same here. I'm taking the Steelers, and much to your point right here, as far as the Bengals offense finally had revival fantasy football wise. So you could comfortably start T. Higgins. You could start Jamar Chase. Chase Brown. I need it. Obviously, you have to start him, but I think give himself a week or two so Joe Flacco could really learn this offense. And I feel like he'll be a lot more effective. But do you feel like it's all hands on deck? Start any reliable Steelers player here because they're playing the Bengals,
Mm,
or just DK and
for
Jalen?
sure, you start DK Metcalf, you start Jalen Warren. I don't really want to lean towards starting any Kenneth Gainwell, Caleb
Yeah.
Johnson. Tight ends are too inconsistent there. So yeah, for me, it's only DK Metcalf and Jalen Warren. But on the other side for Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase, I think immediately just slots right back into a really must start, set it and forget it. I mean, he never left in reality because you were never going to bench Jamar Chase, but
Mhm.
right now you feel very comfortable putting him in the lineup, especially after what you saw last week, even against a good defense. So he
Mhm.
really they were trying to really force the ball to him, and Joe Flacco was, and it looked like it was working. And if you get eight targets to T Higgins like you did last week, I mean, how do you not put him into that flex position? T
Oh
Higgins is
yeah.
going to hit. Is a big play waiting to happen. Not no, we're not going to bring it up, but yeah, T Higgins is a big play waiting to happen. And but the only one that I am worried about is Chase Brown. Chase Brown has
Mhm.
been
Yeah.
shaky at best this year. Not really what you expected, especially for me. I drafted him really high in a lot of leagues in the second or third round. It hasn't
Mhm.
really come back to bite me in some of them, but I think eventually it may if it never pans out. So I feel like you don't feel comfortable starting him, and there may be better options than Chase Brown, to be honest, right now. And I'm not sure he's a must start anymore.
Yeah, see, I could agree with you on that premise as far as Chase Brown. He's definitely not just set it and forget it guy, but I just think this pass game is going to get going a lot more. And it used to be the run opens up the pass game, but now it's the pass opens up the run game now. So I think maybe not this week, but I think the weeks following forward, because Joe Flacco is going to throw the ball down the field. I think that's when he's going to really start getting a lot more efficient. And the last game, he was 11 carries, 50 yards. So I know it was like one big run, but at least it's a positive sign. We didn't see that those past 2 weeks before, but yeah, no. So let's go ahead and move on to this next game, which once again, there is another London game. I feel like the past 4 weeks it's been an international game. It's the Rams versus the Jaguars right here, in which Puka, his status is up in the air, leaning towards more likely not to play, but the Rams are still favored by 3.5. The over-under is 44.5 in this ball game. Who are you taking?
As if Puka was playing in this game, and for sure playing, it would definitively be the Rams for me. But in
Mhm.
reality, honestly, Fonzo, we all know whose home game this is going to be. It's going to be the Jacksonville
Mhm. Yeah.
Jaguars home game. They are
Mhm.
the team of London. They are the team
Yeah.
that is there every single year, back to back weeks. They built up a good fan base. We know it's going to be a Jacksonville Jaguars home game in this one, and
Mhm.
I just feel like what we saw last week, it definitely looked like a more comfortable offense from the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I will say the Rams missing Puka Nakua for me, it may be me just being uh I don't know who to actually now that I think about it, I might switch up on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams in this one.
Okay. Okay.
I'm switching up. I'm switching up. I'm making a business decision right here. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
the Los Angeles Rams in this one. I trust Kyron Williams. I trust Devontae Adams. I believe Jordan Whittington will be able to slide right into place. Not give you Puka Nakua stats, but he'll be able to give you some good production. On the flip side, I just think the Los Angeles defense and their ability to stop the run,
Mhm.
and plus, I think they'll be able to have a good enough to coverage to maybe limit the receivers, which I hope they do not because I need big days from BTJ. But
Mhm.
if they are able to, I trust the Rams' offense and experience a little bit more than I do the Jacksonville Jaguars.
See, I was going back and forth on this game. Same with you here. It definitely is a home field advantage. And I'm just going off of if Puka's not playing because Puka, he's one of those guys where it's a big swing factor. So I'm saying if Puka doesn't play, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars right here. And I think this is a tough game. Obviously, Devontae Adams, he could be a number one any given game. So I don't think it's going to do much to the offense. But I just think the Jaguars, even though they struggled against the Seattle defense, I think the Seattle defense is much better than the Rams defense just at this current moment right now. So I think that the Jags, they'll be able to get a little bit more going. The run game is going to be better. And even though it doesn't look like it on the stat sheet, I like what Trevor Lawrence is, how he's playing, and he's actually finding his number one receiver in Brian Thomas. So I feel like that's going to keep going, but I think this is going to be a close ball game right here. Like I could see a 24-27 ball game right here. But okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. At the beginning of the year, we're with Brian Thomas. It's almost it's screwed. We're done. Then against the Chiefs, he had kind of his breakout game, and then last week finally had his first where we drafted him in the first round type of game. So is this going to be a trend, or was that an outlier right there?
I think a tougher matchup, but definitely he's going to get some big play targets. I mean, he was getting targets no matter what. He hasn't had a game this season where he went below 8 targets, and he's had
Yeah.
10 targets in, I believe, 3 of them. So he's always been the main guy they're trying to get the ball to. It just hasn't worked out that way. What I do
Yeah.
think with Brian Thomas Jr. is that he may not be what he was last year, this top 5 guy, but he's definitely a top 15 guy. And he's going to give you
Hmm.
great production, and he's definitely going to give you around 15 to 16 points a game, which is, I mean, how much more do you want from a player of consistency other than that? I mean, I would be gladly taking 16 points from Brian Thomas Jr. a week, and I think that's what he can provide from now on, from this point forward, and with upside.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. If you would have said from week 3, if you would have said, all right, Brian Thomas Jr., he'll be a 16 point per game rest of the season, you would easily take that. Obviously, it's not where you draft him in the first round, hoping he hit that 20 point per game threshold. But look, Jamar Chase, he's most likely not going to hit that threshold. Justin Jefferson most likely won't. CD, I don't think he will because how long he was out for 3 weeks to catch up. Nico Collins. It's mostly these guys in the second round, like the Puka Nakua, Emeka Ibuka, those guys. So it's really been a down year for all first round wide receivers, and in all honesty. But as far as this Ram side right here,
Except for like
so
Amon Ra.
yeah, well, Amon Ra, I seen him fall to the second round in some leagues, like
Oh, yeah,
competitive
true.
leagues. I meant like first round guys like that were like just definitively because like Puka was a maybe, Amon Ra maybe. The guys were Jamar, CD, Justin Jefferson, Nico, BTJ.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing somebody. Am I missing somebody else? No.
I think it's Amon Ra. I think the other guy is Amon Ra.
Yeah, yeah. No, but as far as with the Rams, you're starting everybody, all hands on deck.
With the Rams, yeah, give me Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, especially Blake Corum's going to be out in this one, I believe, too. So
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, I mean, he already was the workhorse, but even more so now. Matthew Stafford, I do think is a play, maybe a streaming option once again. Last week it was a down week, but I do think this week
Mm-hmm.
he bounces back a little bit better. As far as Jordan Whittington or Tutu Atwell, I think Jordan Whittington may be the guy that you want to lean towards more. But
Mm-hmm.
he's a flex play at best. He's not a guy you
Yeah.
slide into your wide receiver 2 spot. And I think he's definitely in a deeper league where he would be a flex consideration. And then as far as this other side, BTJ is a must start. You got to
ETN.
start Travis Etienne. And yeah, I think for me, those are the 2 must starts on the Jacksonville Jaguars side of things.
Yeah, I agree. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this 12 o'clock slate of games right here. New Orleans Saints, who are 1-5 versus the 3-2 Bears. Bears are favored by 4.5. The over-under is 47.5. And this is in Chicago right here. If I'm reading this correctly, it looks like there may be chances of rain in this game. So who's winning this game?
Yeah, give me the Chicago Bears. I even before learning that there may be rain, I still do think they were going to walk away with this one. This offense is pretty high powered and they can kind of get things going when they need to. They've struggled a little bit, but I do think this is a week where they kind of can get things back on track. That even though the Saints are not no pushovers, they're just not translating to wins at all. And I don't think they have the firepower enough to keep up with the team like the Chicago Bears. Especially in the rain, like in a dome compared to playing outside in the rain, it takes a toll on you, and it definitely is an advantage for the Chicago Bears. So that's where I'm going to go with it. It's Chicago all the way.
Yeah, very easily. I'm taking Chicago here. And as far as fantasy football wise, the Saints, like you said, they have been a stingy team, but they do give up a bunch of yards and a bunch of points. So I would go with obviously you start Rome. Caleb's a start right here. DeAndre Swift, after you said on Monday, it looks like he's taken the lead role, kind of leaving out Kyle Monungai. And DJ Moore. What about Luther Burden this week? What do you think
For
about
me,
him? Maybe
I
a
think
flex.
it's still a wait. I think I'm still
Okay.
waiting on Luther Burden. Like I'm not going to throw him into my lineup and then he walks away with 2 catches and I feel disappointed about it. I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's a little soon. I'll wait to see he gets like 6 targets. Once he starts getting up there in that 6 target range, I was about to say it, but I
You're gonna
didn't.
say it.
But
You're gonna say
yeah,
it. I already
but
know.
once he got up to the 6 target range, and then I'll probably start trusting him when he does it back-to-back games. Then it'll be definitely okay. We got to consider Luther Burden for a flex play consideration. So yeah, Romo Dunze for me is really the only one. DeAndre Swift, Caleb Williams this week streaming option. I mean, he could definitely start on for you any given week, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Then as far as the other side for the New Orleans Saints, Chris Olave for me is maybe the only one that I would consider.
I
Kendra
agree.
Miller and
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara are not very appealing right now. Maybe Alvin Kamara because he always has that upside to take one to the house or just a receiving upside as well. So he's a flex play if anything for me is Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, no, not much disagreements here, but all right. Next game right here, we have the battle of the 1-5s, the 1-5 Miami Dolphins versus the 1-5 Browns. This is in Cleveland, another rainy game. Cleveland's favored by 2.5, and the over/under is 39.5 right here. Who you taking?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with the
This
Cleveland
one's
Browns in
tough.
this.
Mhm.
Actually, damn.
I know. This one, it's rainy. Obviously, Miami has a better offense. Cleveland has a better defense, of course. So,
You know what? I'm gonna stick with the. Oh man, I don't know who to pick actually.
you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first. Maybe you'll
Yeah,
sway
no.
me one way.
Yeah, give me the Miami Dolphins right here, and I'm just going solely on the fact that they have the better offense in this. And who do I trust? Even though the Browns have one of the best units in the league, the Dolphins offense has been good. They've been a top 15 offense, and I think they're going to just muster up enough points compared to a struggling Browns offense. And the Dolphins defense, who didn't look bad against the Chargers last week, it took some miraculous plays from Lad McConkey to win them the game. So, yeah, no, give me the Dolphins. But this is a tough one.
You know what? I'm gonna make a strategic play here to keep my streak going, and I'm gonna pick the Miami Dolphins in this one.
You got me there.
Um,
You got me
yeah.
there.
So, I'll let Fonzo make that decision for me. But I do think a lot of the same reasons why there's also this like tear is. You're right. The offense has been terrific. It's been playing very good football,
Mhm.
especially with Devon. That's okay. I'm looking at it like this.
Okay.
Who do I trust more right now to handle the rock in a rainy game, in a rainy situation, or when their team
we,
needs them to make a play? Is it Devon Achin or is it Quinshawn Judkins? And I'm going to trust
okay.
Devon Achin right now more than I trust Quinshawn Judkins to make a
Okay.
really big play. And that's where I'm leaning towards. So I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say like Tua and Dylan Gabriel, and like I'm like that's a sentence you'd never say with Tua before in his life. I think this is the only game where you could say that. But yeah, no. As far as fantasy football, obviously Quinshon Judkins, Devon Achin, Jalen Waddle. Is there any other guys that stand out from this that you could start?
Harold Fannin, actually, I think Harold
Harold
Fannin
Fannin.
for the Cleveland Browns is definitely a must start. I mean, he had 10 targets last week, the week before he got into the end zone. He's definitely been targeted by Dylan Gabriel ever since he got in. And one big thing about this is David Njoku's on the trading block, and he's injured in this one, so he's may not even
Mhm.
be available. And it's Harold Fannin's season right now for the Cleveland Browns, and I think this may be one that continues. I mean, it was already going, like he was already having a
Yeah.
really good season for a tight end up to this point. But right now, I just think the way that Dylan Gabriel's handling the football, they're really manufacturing a lot of easy plays for him to get the ball out of his hands. And a guy that is going to be evidence of that is Harold Fannin Jr. And I believe that he's going to have a big game in this one.
So so quick story, guys. Whenever I
I'm
went to go
actually
get my
torn.
haircut,
I'm actually hold on.
you
I'm sorry.
with this
I'm
game?
actually yeah, no, not with the game, but with starting. I have Travis Kelsey and I have Harold Fannin in one league. And I'm like torn between who I should start because Kelsey's had a great season so far. Like it's been a really slept
Yeah,
on
he's been
season.
solid.
But Harold Fannin is now the true number one in Cleveland coming off a 10 target game. But Rashee Rice is back in Kansas City. So I'm torn between who I should actually start.
You know who you need to start. Harold
Travis
Fannin.
Kelsey.
That's
But my
coming
thing
from
is,
your heart right
watch
there.
me bench Kelsey and he goes for like
He
15,
has 2
16
tutters.
points. Yeah. So I'm just leave it as it is. And I really can't be mad at it, like
I say leave it as is. Because however it's set right now, then just that's what it is. But yeah, no, quick
yeah.
story. So Josh was giving me a haircut today, and as soon as I sat down in the chair, not no, hey man, how you doing? Nothing. Trade me Harold Fannin. Like this dude, he wants everybody in dynasty football. Everybody. And obviously I said no. He didn't think I knew David Njoku was on the trade block or nothing. So I just want to let you know, Josh, same way you didn't let me get JSN, you're not getting Harold Fannin. Even though they're not on the same
They're
levels.
not even the same level of comparison.
Yeah, Harold Fannin's way better. So yeah, no, you're right.
Bro,
You're right.
freaking Ryan, bro. Ryan O. I've sent him like picks for Orenday Gadsden, and I've sent him picks for Jalen Coker, and he wants to send me back these big old trades. Like, bro, I just want one guy. Like I just want one guy from you. I don't need all this extra stuff. I just want this one guy.
He just wants to make a big trade. That's all it is. No, but all right, let's go ahead and get into what you're talking about. Travis Kelsey's team right here, and the infamous return of Mr. EGE himself, Rasheed Rice. If you guys didn't know his nickname, Chiefs versus Raiders, in which the Chiefs are
Dude,
favored by
minus
12
12
and a
and a
half.
half. That's the highest
Over
I've
under
seen all
score
season, bro.
45 and a half. That's insane.
Dude, that's how you know the offense is clicking right now. That's how you know
Yeah.
the offense is clicking right now. So yeah, I don't think based off that alone, like I don't even need to be a Chiefs
Yeah.
fan to explain this. The Kansas City Chiefs are gonna win this ball game, and I don't think it's gonna be
Mhm.
close. The way Geno Smith is playing right now, it's gonna be a holy feast day for the Kansas
Mhm.
City Chiefs defense, who definitely made. I mean, look what they did to the Detroit Lions last week. Imagine what they're
Yeah.
gonna do to the Raiders this week. Yeah, and then they've been so amazing against the run. So, I mean, right now for Ashton
Brock
Genty, it's
Bowers not
looking like
playing.
trouble in paradise. Exactly. Brock Bowers isn't playing. Jacoby Myers has been struggling. They're still trying to figure out between the Jack Best situation how much he's going to get going. It's just too many question marks for Las Vegas Raiders right now, and the Kansas City Chiefs just question marks just got answered with Rasheed Rice coming back. So, and if they weren't answered before, so yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs pretty handily in this one.
Yeah, Chiefs are winning this, and I'm just interested. We already know. Started everybody on the Chiefs. We already talked about as far as the
Rasheed
Raiders side,
Rice,
just
Xavier
Ashton
Worthy,
Genty.
Travis Kelsey. Actually, I mean, I still stay away from the backfield in Kansas City. Like, stay away from the
Yeah.
backfield. But everyone else, yeah.
If you have to start him, then yeah. But okay, let's play this right here. Okay, is Rasheed Rice fantasy football wise? Is he going to have more than 12 PPR points in his first game back?
12. I say he gets
Just say
at
higher or
least
lower.
6 catches.
Okay, okay,
No,
that's six
okay. No, no,
points.
no. 7 catches
See what you did there.
for 83 yards
Okay, that's
and a
15.3.
touchdown.
Okay, that's 20. That's 21. So 21 points. You're expecting 21 points.
21 points first game back for Rasheed Rice.
Oh man, that would be lovely. That would be lovely. I
It would be
Rasheed
lovely because I
Rice.
have him in every league except for one. So,
I
yeah.
wonder what league that is right there. I put you on the nickname. It's only right that I have Rasheed Rice in that league.
Whatever, bro.
It's only right. But yeah, no. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this next game we
Oh,
have right here.
On the Raiders, are you Ashton Genty for me is it's a start, but it's risky. That's it.
I mean, you just have to
You
start
can't
him
bench
at
him.
this
You
point.
can't bench him.
Yeah.
Michael
Like
Mayer,
like
I think Michael Mayer may be like an option.
yeah, he is, but
He's gonna
also
be
yet
close to the line of scrimmage, so that's a lot. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that is true. It's just I don't really like Geno Smith right now as far as this season. He's the Chiefs defense is
yeah,
going to just tear him apart, honestly. I mean, if you have to start him, you
and then
can.
having to keep up with the Chiefs' offense is not gonna be a good
Yeah, that's not
a
going to
good
be
go.
ideal right there. No, but all right, let's get to this next game. Patriots versus Titans, which the Patriots are 3-0 on the road right now. And Patriots are favored by 6.5. Over under is 42.5. This is in Tennessee after Brian Callahan got fired. I don't know who the interim coach is. I'll look it up in a second. But who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, it's not a question. I'm going with the New England Patriots in this one. I mean, the defense. I mean, and no matter who's the play caller, I believe the Tennessee Titans are just a terrible team offensively. The New England Patriots are a good defense. Drake May's been balling right now, so I just got to stick with the hot hand, and New England's going to be the pick for me.
So Mike McCoy, he is the interim head coach right now. He was a Chargers coach for 3 years. So I guess some quick trivia for anybody. But yeah, no, that don't matter. Patriots are winning this ball game right here, clearly. And honestly, fantasy
Wasn't Mike
football
McDaniel?
wise, Mike McDaniel, what?
I don't know. What I was going to say. Wasn't Mike McDaniel's the Chargers head coach? I'm
No,
tripping.
not the Chargers head coach.
I'm tripping. Who
He
was the
was a
guy before
he was
Harbaugh?
it was he's the Rams no, he's not the Rams DC. He came from the
Mike
Rams
McDaniel's the coaches
defensive.
for the freaking Dolphins. I'm tripping.
What's his name?
Chargers.
He's the one that said, "Is this what we expected?" or something like that. After dang, what's his name?
Oh, Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley, man. He he was the first guy to be crazy analytics. Honestly, that was the
Marty
first guy.
Schottenheimer.
Shout out Marty Schottenheimer, Brian Schottenheimer's old daddy-o. No, but yeah, give me the Patriots here, and fairly convincingly and honestly, you don't start any. In my opinion, you really don't start any Tennessee Titans offensive player here because it's just been so brutal, especially with the split now of Tajay and Tony Pollard.
I'm kind of
So
intrigued to see where they go with it, though. Like, if we're being completely honest, like, I'm intrigued to
Mhm.
see. Okay, so we kind of saw last week. I mean, obviously Tony Pollard dominated the early downs, and especially when the game was really close. But then once the game kind of got out of hand, and then when they started having to throw the ball, it was all Tajay Spears. I know he only had 5
yeah,
carries, but he still had the 6 targets, and he was in on every passing down. So it's
yeah,
kind of, for me, like, I see a transition happening. I think I see a little bit of a
mm,
transition, not necessarily where it's enough for me to make a real move to start Tajay Spears, but definitely something that I'm intrigued to watch, to see where it continues to go. If the new regime's like, okay, we're gonna roll with the guy that we have right now and Tony Pollard, or hey, let's just give the young guy a shot and Tajay Spears to truly prove if he's a number one in this league.
yeah, yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to the people listening. Watching the Titans play football sucks. Like
Oh, dude, I
honestly,
was
they're
watching
one of
that
the worst teams to
Raiders versus
watch.
Titans, and I just felt like I was losing brain cells watching the Titans offense. Like, yeah, that it looked
Dude, it
like
is
what Damien thinks ball knowledge is. That's what it looked like.
look like the Permian Panther offense right there, just running, going back and forth. No,
Yeah,
but
but for the New England Patriots, Drake Mays must start. I think he's
Hunter
a start.
Henry.
He's Hunter Henry. No one else really for me. I think Kayshon Boutte is a flex play. Stephon Diggs a flex play. Not must starts though. And then I think Ramondre Stevenson is even a flex play as well. So
Yeah. Just not the guy that we're hoping for in Travion
mhm.
Henderson. That's only guy we're waiting on. Only guy we're waiting on. But all right, let's go ahead and get to this game right here. Ooh, this is actually pretty interesting right here. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off a bye. Even though this is in Minnesota, Philly's favored by 1.5. The over-under is 43.5, and JJ McCarthy should be making his return again. So Carson Wentz on the bench. Who you taking?
Mm, I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I think the Minnesota Vikings are gonna walk away with a win, uh, especially coming off of a bye week. I do think that it's going to be very important for them to regroup. Carson Wentz is playing very good football, but the thing is, the Philadelphia Eagles can't stop the run to save their life, and I think Jordan Mason is going to have a big day in this one. And then even in the passing game, I feel like they're a little banged up. Kenyon Mitchell isn't going to be available in this one. Understand Cooper DeJean is there, but I don't think they have enough people there to really get the ball to force Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison away from receiving this football and making big plays. So I do think that the Minnesota Vikings, it's a great matchup made in heaven for them this week. I know the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, they're that stingy team that's always going to be there. But after what we saw last week versus the New York Giants and watching Jalen Hurts having to get into a shootout with the quarterback when he needs to,
Yeah.
it just didn't work out that way. And I think if it comes down to it, it's weird. It's crazy to say, but I think I trust Carson Wentz a lot more than I trust Jalen Hurts right now to really push the ball down the field and make big plays, because we've seen it from Carson Wentz this year. We've seen Carson Wentz this year actually be able to throw the football.
Yeah. Oh man, as crazy as it sounds. So
I have a
so Jay,
suggestion. I have a
what's
suggestion
the
though.
suggestion? What
Hand
is
the
it?
football off to Saquon Barkley. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, why are we just like running it when we're like backed up in our own side of the field? Like, why are we waiting to hand on the ball off there? Like, bro had 2 carries for like 25 yards to start the game, and you're like, you know
Yeah.
what? Let's not give him the ball no more. Like, so it's like, hand the ball to your best player that you have on your football team and let him make something happen. I mean, look what it did for the Falcons. I mean, he got freaking Bijan
Yeah.
Robinson had a million yards that day. So the other day. So Jonathan Taylor, they've been doing that all year with him. Derrick Henry still had 124 yards in this last week. He ran the ball 24 times. Like, you have a bell cow in the backfield, possibly the best running back in the world, and you're not giving him the football.
I just wonder if there's a little bit, I wouldn't say a slump for the whole year, but a slump to start the season after the the total carries he had from last year, and maybe it caught up to him at the beginning of the year. And maybe they're like trying to ease him into some sort. I agree with you with the fact they need to hand Saquon Barkley the ball because at this point, this is okay. I wouldn't say this is a situation where it's a must win game, but as of right now, you have the Commanders and the Cowboys struggling, and the Giants. Well, they're still on the doorstep too. You could have won these last two games to really put yourself ahead in the NFC East. So I'm taking the Eagles here because I just really don't see them losing three straight in a row. I mean, if they do, honestly, I'll take it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think it's just gonna be very hard for me to see. I don't think again this is gonna be the Jalen Hurts game. I already told you how much I believe in Jalen Hurts. It's going to be the Saquon Barkley game. And the Vikings defense, it is banged up. So
It is.
they don't have they don't have Van Ginkel. They don't have a couple guys in
Is
on their
Jalen
defensive
Carter
line.
playing in this game?
Yeah, Jalen Carter's playing. So
I'm still
yeah, it
taking
was
the Vikings. I was just wondering.
so yeah, give me a tough this is a tough one, but give me the Eagles in a very close game right here. But as
I
far
just
as
feel like
start,
there's no room for error this year in the NFC. Like, there's no room for error in the
no,
NFC this year.
there's
Like,
not.
you cannot go on and like I was having this conversation today. I was like, it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like, I'm not worried at all in the AFC. If I'm being completely honest,
Mhm.
like even though we're 3-3, there's not a team that's better than us in the AFC. Like, I just wholeheartedly
The
believe that.
Colts?
Like, from
Question mark?
from that's the only team I thought of. But the best thing that they're good at is the best thing we're at stopping. And that's running the football and stopping the run. So for me, it's also one of those things. And if you're giving me Daniel Jones or Patrick Mahomes to put points up on
Danny
the board,
Dimes.
I'm taking Patrick Mahomes every single time. And the Bills look fraudulent right now. The Patriots, I don't think, have enough to keep up with the Chiefs. The Steelers, I mean, come on, let's not even get started with the Steelers. They got one guy, so and a non-existent run game. So as far as like in the AFC, like, it's all the Chiefs for me.
Yeah,
Even the people within their own division haven't separated when given the opportunity.
yeah,
But in the NFC, you have the Eagles, who are 4-2, the Packers, who are 3-1-1, Lions 4-2, Buccaneers 5-1, 49ers 4-2, Seahawks 4-2, Rams 4-2. But not even that. Commanders are 3-3. Bears are 3-2, Vikings are 3-2, Falcons are 3-2, Panthers are 3-3. Like, there's just too many teams that are too close together in NFC, and they're all good football teams. So there's
usually it's the other way around.
yeah, it
Usually
is. It usually is. The AFC just feels a little fraudulent this year, like on from a lot of the top teams that aren't really performing to what they're supposed to be.
no, it's funny. I see the first four in the AFC. It makes you think like you're back in like '08 or 2010, seeing the Colts, Steelers, Chargers, and Patriots there with Philip Rivers, Tom Brady, freaking Peyton Manning, and Big Ben. But yeah, no, as far as starts right here, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Mason, those are starts. Jordan Addison, I guess you have to start him like a flex consideration. Eagles, honestly, at this point, you just have to throw those guys in there. You just have to throw those guys in there and hope for the best because their offense has been so up and down. I don't know if you have any disagreements.
Mm, with who?
I just said the Eagles, you just have to put them in there because just based on how everybody was drafted, you have to put them in there. And I'm starting everybody on the Vikings. Jordan Addison is a iffy. I say
Um, well, to be fair, Jordan Addison did have a good game while missing the first quarter last time he played. So
that's
I
true.
will say this: it's not that he wasn't productive. He still had a pretty good outcome, and even in his first game back, he had a really good day as well. For, like,
Yeah.
in all seriousness, for the Eagles, you just gotta keep rolling them out there, like
Yeah.
you said.
You got
Yeah,
to.
you just gotta Gotta hope it works out for those receivers. And Dallas Goedert, for me, honestly, is a must start. I mean, at the tight end position, he's
Touchdown machine, bro.
yeah, the way that I just flipped the script within 1 week. So yeah, as far
I
as
mean, I
Minnesota
told you
Vikings,
last week. I told you last week with Dallas Goddard. He's a auto start for me at this point. But go ahead. Oh, hello.
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. But
Okay. Okay. Okay.
everyone that's a viable option is a must start in this game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But all right, this last 12 o'clock game right here, we have the 3-3 Carolina Panthers who could get for 500 since the first time since the Cam Newton days versus the 0-6 Jets. Panthers are favored by 1.5. The over-under is 41.5. This is in MetLife Stadium, so Jets are the home team. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers in this one. I just feel like their defense is playing really good against easy matchups. I mean, I understand last week they went against Dak Prescott, but they've been playing all right football. Um, as far as their offense, I mean, right now it's just Rico Dowdle or nothing. But if Chuba Hubbard comes back, I do think it's going to be a split backfield. But Ted McMillan's definitely looking very good, and right now, but he also has a tough matchup coming up this week as well with Sauce Gardner and the Shadow. And Sauce Gardner's been actually very good this year. We saw what he kind of did to Cortland Sutton last week and the week before. If George Pickens didn't get that big play touchdown, he was really shut down the entire game. So I think Sauce Gardner's playing very well. It's a really tough matchup, I think, for both teams.
Mhm.
If I'm being completely honest, like both teams, it could be another ugly game. If I'm being completely honest, like the Broncos and New York Jets game was last week, or it
Oh,
could
I
be
hope not.
a really random high
Crazy
scoring
high
game.
score. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but I think I am gonna go with the Carolina Panthers this one because Justin Fields looks worse than Bryce Young right now. So that's where I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers. And Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson's out. So who's he gonna throw the ball to? Mason Taylor's to the moon in this game. If yeah, that's all I know. And Brees Hall. So
I'm not gonna lie, Mason Taylor burned me so much last week that I dropped him for a K Dotton. I'm not gonna lie. After
bro,
last
I'm not
week's
gonna lie.
disappointing
I
performance.
dropped Harold Fannin in one league last week because I was like, okay, Harold Fannon's not getting the targets that Mason
Mm,
Taylor got. Mason Taylor got what he got
one
last week,
target for
but
2
good thing
yards.
I was able to drop Mason Taylor and get back Harold Fannin through the waiver wire. So,
Oh man, bro.
but in the
No,
other leagues, I still have him in the leagues that I can have him. So
yeah.
I'm I'm comfortable starting him, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess since Garrett Wilson's out, personally me, I'm not picking him up in anyone.
Yeah,
I
but someone
replace him with
has
K Dotton.
Orday Gadsden and freaking BBB, but it's whatever.
Yeah, you could trade
And
me Jamar Chase for Orenday
who
Gaskin.
else? Who else did you have that I looked for this today? I was pretty annoyed by it. Isaiah Davis. You have Isaiah Davis, right? Yeah, so annoying.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's not gonna. Oh, Nate popped up in the background. That kind of scared me. No, but yeah, Brees Hall, Mason Taylor, the Panthers start Rico Dowdle. Start Rico Dowdle. At this point, he's looking like Adrian Peterson out
Are you
there.
still gonna start? We're still starting Ted McMillan, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can't bench him, especially after a 2 touchdown day. I think it's gonna be something like where he gets like 4 catches and like small touchdown, so he'll still give like a reliable 11, 12 points in this ball game right here. But I'd rather hope it's not a low scoring game. I want to see some points on this board, and honestly, I want to see Rico Dowdle see if he could get another
Is there
200 yards.
is there any random New York pass catcher that you think's gonna, or is it gonna be the Brees Hall show?
I mean, Brees Hall already gets crazy catches already as it
Yeah,
is.
but is it gonna be the Brees Hall show? Like, is it just gonna be Brees Hall and that's it?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I could really name another Jets Jets receiver.
I just know
I'm,
Alan
I'm
Lazard and Arian Smith.
dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't name another Jets receiver. I'm not lying to you at all. Let's see. Jets wide receivers. All it just pops up is Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard. Josh Reynolds.
Oh, that's a good. I feel
You
like
you
I'm not trusting it, but I do think that's a good option. But if they had a good quarterback,
Tyler Johnson. Yeah. Oh man, Justin Fields. Yeah, no, he's just no bueno. But on the bright news, let's talk about an up and coming quarterback right here, Jackson Dart and the New York Giants right here, who just upset the Philadelphia Eagles and looking on doing it again versus the Denver Broncos, who are at home. Denver's favored by 7.5. The over under is 40.5 right here. So who are you taking? You gonna do it?
I'm gonna ride the hot hand right now. I'm gonna go
No
with the
way.
New York Giants in this football game to walk away with the W. And here's why. Because everything the Denver
Let's
Broncos
hear
are
it.
good at stopping, the New York Giants do whatever the hell they want, no matter who's in front of them, because they do not care about what's gonna happen. And that's the beauty about watching Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo play football, is that they just do not care. Like, they're just gonna do whatever they need to do. I believe Tyrone Tracy's gonna get a little bit more involved this week. The receiving core is iffy, but if I'm being completely honest, for some reason I feel like since the receiving core is so bad, it's not gonna mean that much on who's guarding who. I is a crazy
Honestly, yeah.
like, it's just gonna
They're playing
crazy
check.
epitome that someone's gonna get open because it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who I throw the ball to. Like, I'm not trying to force it to anybody. And then I just feel like there's going to be some broken plays that Jackson Dart's able to create that puts the Denver Broncos in tough situations. I mean, come on. And plus, I'd like to see Bo Nix handle this pass rush. I'd like to see him handle it and see if he can really put the ball where it needs to be. We saw I know Justin Fields sucks, but with the New York, but we saw what they were able to do. What the Denver Broncos were not able to put up points against the New York Jets defense, which I do think the New York Giants have a better pass rush. And we saw what the New York Giants did to the Philadelphia Eagles, who is a better team, I believe, than the Denver Broncos. So I'm gonna keep it rolling with Jackson. Hey, just let a couple white boys catch a vibe, bro, and I'll let them go. So I'm gonna go with the New York Giants.
So, okay. I know the podcast had barely came out today. Apologies once again, guys, for that. But I told Brecken after you left, I said, all right, now that Josh is gone, honestly, I would have traded a first round pick in ETN for Jackson Dart if I'm keeping it a bean. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, I'm glad trading that third round pick in ETN. But I just want to say that. And okay, Brecken didn't agree with me on this. I'm not saying these guys are 2016 vintage, you know who, Dak and Zeke, but I'm saying vibes, just like pure vibes and energy. Cam Scatterboo and
They got
Jackson
the
Dart, they
boys
give
rolling,
similar vibes.
bro. You see the
That's what I'm
sideline
saying.
right now? You see,
That's what
dude,
I'm saying.
they booed Russell Wilson off the field because he came in for one play. Like,
and
dude,
threw the ball one time, bro. They were just ready to boo. They did not care what was gonna
dude,
happen.
he got the city behind him right now, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, and his boys are ready to the boys around him are ready to play some ball. That's all I'm saying. So
No, yeah, they're gonna be competitive. But with that being said, give me the Denver Broncos right here.
this is where you
I think
lose
the
the matchup this week.
no, this is where I win the matchup because you make the mistake right here of picking the Giants. So trust me, I like what the Giants are doing, but I just think the Denver Broncos defense, that's one thing that is so reliable and it bails out Bo Nix every single time. And I think they'll be
Just
able
wait.
to put up
Wait
enough
till Bo Nix
drives.
gets punched in the mouth and Cam Scuttlebo runs through Nick Bonito's face. Let's talk about reliable. Watch when Cam Scuttlebo lowers that shoulder real quick into some Nick Bonito.
I still remember whenever we're doing a fantasy draft going to San Antonio. And I remember it was you, Marcos, and me. And I remember we're picking our defensive ends. And I think you said like Chris Jones. I said Micah. This is at the very beginning. I think Marco said like Nick Bonito. That's the only thing that pops into my mind every
Yeah,
single
and
time.
if you look at it in today's time, it was like, oh hell yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
But like last year, like it was like,
Last
bro, you had Max Crosby available and you went with Nick Bonito,
my
like.
like Miles Garrett and everything. Hey, maybe he knew something that we didn't.
Hey,
So
he knew something we didn't, bro.
no, but yeah, no. Give me the Denver Broncos in this game. And as far as fantasy football starts, so you're starting
Yeah,
Jackson Dart this game.
you got to start. I'm not necessarily Jackson Dart, but I'm definitely starting Cam Scatterboo. I feel like
Mhm,
you just got to chase the volume. He's going to get the ball no matter what, especially in the passing game too.
mhm.
Um, Cortland Sutton. I mean, he's going to have a bounce back week. Last week was pretty rough for
JK.
him. J.K. Dobbins. Did Damien call you and ask you the question?
JK for K9.
What did you say?
I because okay, he was trying to
I said
see
I'd
if
rather
he
have J.K. Dobbins.
that's what I said too. But he was over here trying to decide who to start between Ramondre and K9. And I told him, I
K9.
said, and I told him I go for the upside guys. So K9. And so he's like, no, bro, I'd rather have upside. I'm like, yeah, but J.K. Dobbins averaging like 15 fantasy points a game. I'm like, that's consistent compared to Ramondre, who's up and down.
I do think that J.K. Dobbins is a better running back than Kenneth Walker. Is that crazy? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, when he's healthy, he's one of the better running backs in the entire NFL.
He is. It's just hurting my
I don't
heartstrings
think
to say that. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
just
I'm a
don't think
K9
it's
fan.
like I don't think it's like a big gap, but and he was trying to say that Kenneth Walker, since he's hurt, since J.K. Dobbins is hurt, that Kenneth Walker gets the edge. But I'm like, Kenneth Walker is just as hurt. It's just not as serious. Like he's
Yeah.
hurt all the
He
time. So
misses as many games similar throughout the year. Because J.K. Dobbins was completely healthy last year. And same. Oh man, I'm gonna give a jinx. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. No, but all right. Let's get to this other 3 o'clock game right here, which this one's pretty interesting right here. The 5-1 Colts versus the 4-2 Chargers. This is in Inglewood right here. Chargers are favored by 1.5. The over-under is 48.5. So expect some points on the board in this one. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts in this one. I just think the way that they're running the football right now with Jonathan Taylor is pretty good. This defense is balling out right now. I think the only thing I am worried about is that Trevarius Ward, I believe, is hurt. So I don't know if he is going to play in this game. So that's a hit to their secondary for sure. But I do think this team is clicking right now. They're playing as one whole unit. As compared to the Los Angeles Chargers, the Chargers are banged up on that offensive line. It is not pretty. We've seen them struggle over the last couple of weeks. Ever since game one, they haven't really been that same team since game one versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They've really struggled to put things together. QJ is hurt. I'm not sure if he is playing this week, and that's a big piece that they need. They're down to their. I believe Kamani Vidal played a big role last week, and he's going to continue to do so. But this is also a way harder matchup against the
Mhm.
Indianapolis Colts than it was last week. So versus the Miami Dolphins, and I do think that the Chargers are going to struggle a bit against the Indianapolis Colts. So that's why I'm going to lean towards the Colts in this one.
So I was kind of hoping you'd pick the Chargers in this one, so I get like a sneaky game past you, so I could just get one up on the board. But obviously, we're smart minds think alike, so I'm taking the Colts here as well. And did you see what happened to Javarius Ward last week? How he got the
No,
concussion? Look, let me show you. Let me pull it up for you. I know you audio listeners they won't be able to see it. Let me not share my audio. Let me zoom in. Of course, it doesn't even zoom in. Perfect. I know it's smaller, but look, watch. it was during practice. Yeah, yeah.
bro, just got laid out, bro.
It was his teammate. It was his teammate that laid him out, bro.
What
So
happened
yeah,
to
no.
Did you see what happened to Anthony Richardson? Bro almost
Oh,
lost the eyeball because of a freaking stretching. Like,
yeah, because the band went in this. Oh man,
bro's
Anthony
never
Richardson.
gonna. It's just never gonna happen, bro.
I, I thought I thought so last year. If you would have heard me last August, oh man, you would
Bro,
have
I'd
thought that.
rather have Riley Leonard walk up in there.
I don't
And I'm
blame you.
not saying that because I have him in Dynasty.
No, I don't blame you. Anthony Richardson, a fall from grace. He was so good. He was so good in college. Just no, but yeah. As far as starts right here, like you were saying on the same premise that Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, I feel like that's a solid start. Tyler Warren, the Chargers, Lad McConkey, I think he's all the way back. I think he's all the way back. I don't know how you feel about that.
No,
No, you
I
don't
don't
think
know
he's
if I
up?
feel. No, I think it's just dependent on who's playing. I really truly believe that. Like I believe if Quentin Johnson comes back, then there's gonna be sort of like a split, I will say, because the deep the deep the deep plays that Quentin Johnson that gets drawn up for him, he's
Mhm.
gonna get a lot of those looks, and then plus Keenan Allen's always also available. I believe Ladd is back to being a playable person. I do think he is gonna be a
I think like
playable
a wide
option.
receiver too.
Yeah, but not to where we saw the upside that he was gonna be pre-draft. And then plus now, I believe Orenday Gadsden's gonna start getting a little bit more involved. I this is 2 out of the last 4 weeks where he's reached over 7 or 8 targets, and then he's
Mhm.
walked away with a few with like at least 6 of them. So that's there. And then plus, like, I mean, right now they're very lucky because Amari Hampton isn't playing. Like before he
Yeah.
even went out in the last game he played, he had already had 4 targets. So I just do think there's a lot of mouths to feed in Los Angeles, and it's not that Lad McConkey's not talented or anything like that. I just believe that it's just a good offense. Like it's just a good offense with a
Yeah.
bunch of good players.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna say where he was drafted at, which was late second round, early third round, but I say he's gonna be a good wide receiver too, where it's 12, 13 points, kind of like what we were saying on the same premise of BTJ. But hold on, wait, this
Josh
comment right here,
Allen or
Allen or
Lamar
Lamar for your
for
life
your
to win
life
a
to win a
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Who you pick? I'm gonna answer it like this: in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson sucks. In the playoffs, Josh Allen plays out of his mind, but still loses to Mahomes. So that's why I'm gonna go with Josh Allen.
uh, well, I still do pick Josh Allen, but I just think he's so much better of a passer than Lamar Jackson, in all honesty. And like you're saying, he's a playoff riser. Okay, quick question right here. This is off topic. Just say what it was 20 2020
Lamar
when whenever
is
Josh
it
Allen played Mahomes, right? I'm just trying to say every time Josh Allen played Mahomes in the playoffs, how many Super Bowls would he have? Like if just say hypothetically he beat Mahomes every single time. So he'd play the Rams
I think
in
last year,
2021.
I don't think anyone would have beat the Eagles the way they were playing last year. If we go the year before that,
AFC Championship. It was 2 years ago.
okay. So my question is, do you think the Bills have a good enough defense as the Chiefs did to be able to hold teams down? Like those 2 years versus the Eagles, and then
So
versus the
the
49ers.
yeah, the one that I'm thinking of is a San Fran one where when y'all end up winning back to back. Who do I think the Bills
Does
defense
Dre
could have stopped the
Greenlaw still get
Niners?
hurt in this scenario and all that?
Let's just say hypothetically, yes, he still gets hurt in this scenario.
I believe
Let's
that's the one that the Bills win. I don't know if they beat the Eagles the year before because the Eagles, I mean, they played a great game. Like they got off to a really
Mhm,
hot start. A lot of mistakes
mhm.
happened. But honestly, I feel like those mistakes is something that like Josh Allen would capitalize on as well. So,
Yeah. I'll I'll say this, the one against the Rams, because it was
but plus he
okay,
would have had Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis in one of
yeah.
these. He would have had
That would be the one where he had Stephon Diggs
better
and Gabe
and then
Davis, where they played the
I mean, he would have
Bengals
had
in the
Justin
AFC Championship.
Poyer and a couple of the guys that were a
Yeah,
lot more healthier. Honestly, I
yeah.
feel like they do walk away with at least one,
Maybe
like
I'm
during
s
that time period.
I'm not gonna say all 3 because I think Mahomes, he went ape shit during which one was it? The Philly one? So I say the one against San Fran. The one against San Fran, I say that one. That's the one. San Fran? Yeah. Yeah, San Fran 2022. 2022, yeah. That's the only one. Okay, now let's flip it. Lamar Jackson. Do you think that he walks away with the championship?
Uh,
Who is that on the top bunk? It's my little brother. It's my little brother.
How
Nah,
does
but
Lamar walk away with a win?
so the
Mm,
easiest one that I could take away is when y'all played, or whenever y'all beat the Ravens, y'all went on to play the Niners, right?
yeah, but we beat the brakes off of them, bro. Like Lamar looked
No,
pedestrian,
no, y'all. That's where Zay Flowers fumbled in the end zone, and it was
and Lamar threw a pick to Brian Cook in the end zone as well.
yeah. So it was the final score was what 17-13, something like that.
We held
It
the
wasn't.
top. We held the highest rated team in NFL history to 13 points or
I
something
mean,
like that.
it wasn't like a butt whooping, but like
I feel like for what the Chiefs were dealing with, Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, that's as much as a butt whooping you're gonna get.
fair enough. But I think they beat San Fran. I think they beat San Fran too.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
yeah, no, but all
But
right.
you want to
Well,
talk about the Chiefs going from the wild card all the way to the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm.
who did they beat?
Winning that thing.
Miami.
Miami. Then they beat Buffalo. Didn't know. Yeah,
Yeah, Buffalo, and then they beat
Baltimore,
Baltimore and then
and then they
Philly.
beat the San Francisco.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. But all right. We got a little bit off topic right there, but let's go ahead and go on to this other 3 o'clock game right here. We have the Green Bay Packers versus Arizona Cardinals, in which this is in Arizona, but Green Bay is favored by 6.5. Over unders 44.5. And I'm not sure on Kyler Murray's status, but Jacoby Brissett would be starting. So who are you taking?
Washington or Dallas in this one.
Hmm? I
You
said the
said Jacoby
Packers or
Brissett,
Cardinals.
Cardinal. We're in Arizona. We're in Arizona. Green Bay or Arizona. So
That threw me off.
that threw
Yeah.
me off because on my order, Washington and Dallas was next. So
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
So in Green Bay, Arizona. I'm gonna go with Green Bay quite easily in this one. Jacoby Brissett played good last week, but
He has
in
that
this,
one game.
but now Marvin Harrison's also out in this one as well. So there's really no threat on the outside. Trey McBride's the only real one. The backfield, I don't even know. Bam Knight, Michael Carter, who knows? But
Yeah.
as far as Green Bay, there's a lot less question marks. And the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, quite easily for Green Bay.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Green Bay Packers here. And as far as fantasy football wise, I think this is going to be a Josh Jacobs game right here. Like as far as where you could see over 150 all purpose yards right here and a couple tutters. And Arizona, this is a tough spot for McBride, but obviously you have to start him. Any Green Bay wide receiver, I really don't trust. I know we talked about this. We talked about this at the barbershop. There's really nobody you could really trust. Maybe if you had to pick one, Matt Golden, maybe. But even at that, that's a iffy one. If you had to pick one wide receiver, who would it be?
Tucker Craft.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, but all right. Let's go ahead and get on to the last 3 o'clock game, which it is the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys, in which the Commanders are favored by 1.5. And this is by far the highest over under of the week by 3 points, 55.5. So who are you taking in this one? I
Honestly,
mean, I go ahead. Go ahead.
the Cowboys make it so hard because their defense sucks so bad, bro. That's the thing. Like I know I don't have a problem with their offense. It's just Washington didn't look that great versus Chicago, to be honest, either. So
I mean,
you
you
know
know
what? Give
where
me the
I'm
Dallas.
going.
Give me the Dallas Cowboys in this one. I
Okay.
do think they have a bounce back week. I think Javonte Williams gets a lot more. He gets more. And we saw what DeAndre Swift did to the Washington Commanders last week. I believe that
Yeah.
Javonte Williams can do almost the exact same thing. George Pickens is looking very good right now. Maybe this may be a chance for Ryan Flournoy also to start getting going in this one. It may be the last week we see that we may see Ryan Flournoy get some real burns. So for me, I think it's gonna be the Dallas Cowboys. As far as the Commanders side, I just think that defense is good. They're playing all right football. But this isn't Caleb Williams you're playing on the other side, you're playing Dak Prescott now. So I just don't see them really, creating a lot of things that would bother Dak Prescott. And then as far as the other side, I believe that JCM will have a big day. Cowboys are atrocious. Jaden Daniels will have a big day. I just think if it comes down to a shootout, give me Dak Prescott.
So also another thing I forgot to mention, CeeDee Lamb is more likely than not to play in this ball game right here. So already the best offense in the league getting back a top 3 receiver in my opinion in the league. So I think this is going to be a complete shootout like you're saying. And for pretty much along the same lines, just Dak Prescott, he's quarterbacking better than any other quarterback in the National Football League as far as IQ, controlling the line of scrimmage, just throwing the ball, accuracy, touch. It's just Dak Prescott's just on a different level right now. And I say, well, I didn't even tell you this. So I may end up going to the game since I'm going to Dallas this weekend. So Dak
That's
Prescott,
cool. Heck yeah.
Dak Prescott, don't let me down. I'm talking to you directly in the
You're
camera,
coming
even
back
though I know
Monday?
demo. Well, we're thinking about watching the game and then coming back Monday. But I'm trying to convince everybody else to go watch the game because the tickets
Please
they're
waste
like
your money.
the tickets they're like 150 for like middle seats.
Mhm.
So it's like that's pretty much cheap right there. You already know how much tickets cost for a game. But yeah, no. Give me the Cowboys here, obviously, because I'm biased, but I don't care. Dak Prescott's gonna save us once again. But all right, let's get to Sunday night football right here. Atlanta Falcons
I think
versus
this is
San
gonna be a fun
Francisco.
matchup, to be honest.
Yeah, versus the Niners. Niners are favored by 2.5. Over under is 47.5 right here. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Atlanta in this one. We saw what honestly, Atlanta looks comfortable. I mean, we were kind of hating on not hating on it, but we were kind of pointing out that Michael Penix struggles when teams are answering the bell every single time like they did at the beginning of the year. But they've really turned a new switch. I mean, it's pretty easy when you're number one wide receiver and your running back go absolutely nuclear and insane. Especially
Yeah,
what Drake. I'm impressed with what Drake London was able to do in this last one. It just looked like he was the best player out. I mean, obviously, let's take away Bijan. He looked like he was the best receiver for sure in the game, and he was making big plays. And really, he was just this close away from scoring a touchdown that would have made his day
yeah,
look a lot more better at the end of that first half. And then, I mean, Bijan Robinson. I mean, is there enough to be said? And plus, San Francisco, too many injuries, especially losing Fred Warner, which sucks so much for football because Fred Warner is so good at football. The game's just better with him in it. Um, as far as that San Francisco offense, I mean, there's a lot of question marks. I think we know who Christian McCaffrey is. We kind of know who Kendrick Bourne is, but do we trust him against? I mean, if he's the number one receiver, AJ Terrell or
yeah.
Kendrick Bourne, I think I know which way I'm leaning, and that's AJ Terrell. So, um, and then Joanne Jennings is playing with a million broken ribs, and Ricky Pearsall barely practiced this week. So, yeah, I just trust Atlanta Falcons, and I do think they're a really good football team compared to the San Francisco 49ers. But I can't believe San Francisco's favored in this one. That's crazy to me. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, also they are the home team, and them being 2.5, that means money's going on Atlanta at the moment. But George Kittle is expected to be back, so it'll be somewhat of a plus for Mac Jones. I believe Mac Jones he is starting as well. But the biggest thing is you're gonna need to be able to run the football against the Falcons defense, which Falcons have one of the best run defenses, and Niners they can't run the ball to save their lives in this game. So Falcons defense is just on a different level, and I think once again, they found out the recipe for success, which we've been saying for years at this point. Give the ball to Drake London and Bijan Robinson, and you're gonna win 9 times out of 10 your ball games right here. But I think this one it's gonna be a bunch of points right here on this one, where it could be like a 31-24 ball game right here. So fantasy football guys right here. Obviously, Drake London, Bijan, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. Is there any other guy?
I mean, if Kendrick Bourne's the main guy, I feel like he's a flex play. He's been 142 in back-to-back weeks. And then
Mhm.
Kyle Pitts, I mean, as a starting tight end, I feel a little comfortable with that.
Mhm.
It's weird to say in the Big
I
25,
know.
but yeah, so pretty good matchup for the Falcons, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And how good do you think Kittle is gonna do in his first game back? Because I mean, through a quarter and a half versus Seattle, he had like 12 points. And this is a similar level of a tough defense. So how well do you think he's going to do?
I think he's gonna do good. He's gonna easily be the number one option in that passing
Yeah.
game. May take a little bit of the pressure off of Christian McCaffrey. So maybe I think he has a good day.
Mhm. Yeah. But all right, let's go and get to Monday Night Football, which once again, there is two Monday Night Football games, which we both said we don't like two Monday Night Football games, but we do like the Heisman, the Bake Show himself, who are now 5-1, 3-0 on the road, going up against the Detroit
No,
Lions in Detroit.
Houston and Seattle play at 9 o'clock.
I know, late game. Detroit's favored by 5.5. Over under is 52.5, second highest over under of the week. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit in this one. I feel like Tampa Bay's just missing too many weapons right now. I understand the big show. He gets the job done. He keeps them in the game. He's gonna come back and score. This is the first time this year I'm actually gonna go against the big show. Um, the Heisman himself. It's just too many question marks. Like Cameron Johnson,
Yeah.
who Tez Johnson, one big play. Kate Otton's good when everyone's out, but is he going to be able to maintain that? The Detroit Lions know that as well. Bucky
Yeah.
Irving's out. Rashad White's not that productive. It's really just goal line work that he's getting lucky off of. I mean, not lucky, but I mean, it comes down to it. He puts his job to put it in the end zone, and he does.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions coming off a big loss, humiliated. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It kind of just seems like a time for redemption in this one. So I'm just Detroit Lions are going to win this one.
Yeah, it's just a recipe for success for the Lions, a bucked up Buccaneers team where they've been kind of on a hot streak and injuries are just catching up to them. Lions, I think they're going to end up walking away with this game fairly convincingly, even though it is the big show, even though he never goes down without a fight. I think just the Lions offense is just too good at this point. I don't think back-to-back weeks they're going to get stopped under 24 points. And can the Bucks get over 24 points with so many injuries on offense? I really don't think so. So yeah, give me the Lions very easily. Of course, Lions, you always start everybody every single week. But the Buccaneers, is it just Baker Mayfield and Rashad White you're starting? Or Kate? I'm starting Kate Otten
I feel
because I
like
have
Kate
to.
Otton's, yeah, Kate Otton's a good start. Baker Mayfield and Rashad White.
Mhm.
Everyone else, good luck.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get on to this last game right here of the week. Houston Texans, who are coming off of a bye, versus the Seattle Seahawks, in which Seattle's favored by 3.5, over under is 41.5 in this ball game. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one. Just the way that passing game is looking with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I believe they have good options beside him, and in the run game, though not very productive, still have two guys back there that can do the job. And then as far as the other side of the ball, the defense is playing very good. They are banged up in the secondary, so I think this could be a big Nico Collins day, or even a Jaden Higgins coming off the bye.
Mhm.
But I just feel like I trust the Seattle Seahawks right now more to put up points on the board because the Houston Texans have struggled to do that this year. Outside of the Baltimore Ravens game, it's been kind of lackluster. And without a good offensive line going against this pass rush led by Byron Murphy, it's going to be very tough for the Houston Texans in this one. But I do think they'll have a couple big plays. So make it a little interesting, but the Seattle Seahawks will walk away with it at the end.
Yeah, give me Seattle in this ball game. And I was looking at the weather. It looks like it's going to be raining this game too. So once again, another team where they're just comfortable in the rain and the kind of muggy weather. So Seattle, that's another plus for them. And I think this is where the run game finally gets going. I know it's a tough Houston Texans defense, but I just think that the Houston Texans secondary is just elite, especially with Derek Stingley. I don't know if he's going to be following JSN. So this is where the run game's going to have to get going. And
Sure,
I
he
think it's going
better
to
be
happen.
following JSN.
I know. I mean, no, he does play everywhere. He does play slot and outside. Yeah, no. So he's one of the highest paid corners in the league for a reason. So that's going to be an interesting
The
matchup.
isn't he the highest paid corner in the league?
Is he? I know he was up there. Let me see. I thought it was Sauce still. Highest paid back in the NFL. Yeah, it's Sauce.
Oh, okay.
It's Sauce, Stingley, J.C. Horn, Jalen Ramsey, and Pat Surtain is fifth. That's insane.
Actually, JC, but all those guys are playing good football. I mean, Pat Surtain, it's just one of those situations. He got paid before everybody, and everyone came
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, that's true. And I think Pat Surtain, he got a re-up too to like make him the officially highest paid. But yeah, he did. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was looking at it. But as far as fantasy football starts right here, must starts. Nico, JSN, that pretty much it.
Yeah, there ain't no other must starts in this one. Cooper Cup's
Mhm.
flex play. No one else, I think, for the. I mean, Woody Marks for me, I feel like is an interesting person to play. Like, I do think he
Yeah.
could be a deep flex option in a deeper league.
Mhm.
I do think that he's bound for a big day in this one, especially if they're going to be having to keep up with the Seattle Seahawks offensively. Woody Marks is going to be in the game quite a bit for that.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see that split between Woody Marks and Nick Chubb because 2 weeks ago it was the Woody Marks show. Last week or week before it was Nick Chubb show. So I'm just interested to see how this is off of a bye. But all right, Josh, that wraps up everything right there as far as our predictions. You have the Rams, I have the Jags. You have the Vikings, I have the Eagles, and you have the Giants, and I have the Broncos. So, any last words before we get out of here?
Good night, my brothers and maybe sisters.
hmm That's a perfect way to end off this episode. But before we get out of here, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSCSA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. Make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. We'll be coming back, and I will be 5-2. I'm finally going to get another